So when we see this equation, it's perfectly valid to use the distributive law to square this thing. And you're going to end up with what? You're going to end up with 3x squared plus 24x. And then you got 48 plus 42 equals 0. Okay? I might be right about that. I might be wrong. You know, it's old gray here. But then you can use a quadratic formula. Okay? Perfectly all right. But this is the kind of expression you'd get if you completed the square on the equation that I just recited, the equation you would get by doing this. And this is much easier to solve. What do you do? What else could you do to this equation?
Divide by 3.
You could? Okay. Turns out you can divide by 3 to get x plus 4 squared minus 2 equals 0, right? And then what? Avoid the distributive law so you see what's going on. Nothing wrong with using the distributive law. It's just easier to do what we're about to do here.
Add 2.
Add 2 to both sides. You get x plus 4 squared equals 2, right?
Square root.
Okay, so what?
X plus 4 equals the square root of 2.
No.
What? Plus or minus the square root of 2. Don't yell at me.
When something's, I'm not going to yell at you. Everybody forgets this, but you lose points if you do. Okay? Because it's really important to understand, among other things, that any quadratic equation should be expected to have 2 solutions, although there are cases where you have only one, and of course cases where you don't have a real solution. Okay?
You call I, right?
Yeah. Okay, so
Gotcha.
there you have it. So now what's x? How do you,
Subtract 4.
again?
Subtract 4.
Yeah, subtract 4 from both sides. You get x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 2. 2 solutions. It should be anticipated for a quadratic equation. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed 2 solutions, because you could have a plus or minus 0 here, right? Okay? They could also get an I, but then you'd have a plus or minus something times I, that'd give you 2 solutions. X equals negative 4 plus the square root of 2. X equals negative 4 minus the square root of 2. Now this is exactly what you would get if you expanded this and plugged into the quadratic formula. Okay? Just multiply all this, use distributive law to square this, simplify it into ax squared plus bx plus c, plug into the quadratic formula, simplify it, you would get this, and I'd recommend that you maybe do just to convince yourself of the fact.